Hello friends, welcome. In response to the viewers' feedback, it has inspired me to add few more tips to the time management presentation. This is a very small section talking about one another key aspect which I mentioned in the last video, that is prioritizing. So let's quickly run through this small part but then very important part of time management, that is act of prioritizing. To know the importance of prioritizing, we have to understand the 80-20 rule. Now, what is this 80-20 rule? It is basically called as the Pareto principle or the 80-20 rule. What it says is a small number of causes or action is responsible for a large part of the effect or the result. In simple words, you can say 20% of your efforts generates 80% of the results. We need to understand that it is vital to focus 80% of your time on the 20% of work that really counts. Having said this, let us try to understand where are we going wrong. We need to understand the critical aspect of time management and we have to develop this skill to manage that, and that is setting priorities. Priorities to each of your tasks or actions that you take. That is where we get lost. We don't know where to focus and where not to focus. To bring more clarity, let us look at this chart. Look at this chart, which now is very important to understand what are these four quadrants and how we need to get organized. When you divide all these activities in these four quadrants rightly, you can be sure of being a super organizer. Now let's see what kind of activities falls in each of these quadrants. I'll put you through the contents now. Look at quadrant number 1, which is urgent and important. These are things which we have to do. These are things like some crisis, some pressing problems, a disturbed or irate client, attending to a breakdown, or medical emergencies. These are things which you cannot avoid, which is urgent and also important. Look at the quadrant number 2. Not urgent, but they are very important. These are things which actually matters to our life, which includes long range planning for our goals, dreams, milestones, anticipating problems and preventing problems, learning and developing of oneself, developing skills, learning new things, relationship building, also taking care of your health, taking care of your body, which is very important. And now look at quadrant number 3, urgent but not important. Things like interruption, some telephone calls, some drop-in visitors who just walk in, and some meetings which are really not important. Take the last quadrant, which is 4, not urgent, not important. The trivial matters, some junk mails and messages, almost all social media messages, some telephone calls, and many of those time wasters. Or sometimes when we are really not in a good mood to do anything at all, we take up some escape activities like reading addictive and non-meaningful novels or books, watching mindless TV serials, web series, or sometimes whiling away time with people, discussing issues which is not really important. Now, having understood all these four quadrants and what are the activities which falls into these sections, let us see how we are spending time on all such activities and actually how we should be spending those time proportionately on such tasks. So I'll bring it to a point where we need to understand how we should spend our time and how we are actually spending our time. In the four quadrants, you'll see figures written there. All that is mentioned in red are the way in which we are actually spending the time. And all the figures which are there in blue are the way we should be actually spending our time to be more productive, more effective. Look at quadrant 1, which is urgent and important. Yes, we have to do that. It actually should be spending 20 to 25% of the time. Yes, we are somewhere around that. The most important area is the quadrant 2 and 4. Look at quadrant 2, which is not urgent but very important for our life. As we discussed, long-term careers, building relationships, upgrading ourselves, learning new things. We should be spending 60 to 70% of our time, whereas we are roughly spending around 15 to 20 or 25% of our time. And at the same time, look at quadrant 4, which is activities which are not urgent, neither important. And Where successful people spend less than 5% of their time, we tend to spend 35 to 40% of our time, and especially in a time like this when we have a lot of free time, we tend to waste a lot of time. We need to focus on these areas and ensure that we are spending the time in proportion to what we should be actually spending on the important activities. All those activities which will take us forward, which will take us to the next level, which will improve ourselves, our skills, our health. So, what we are trying to say is that we are focusing on the vital few and trivial many. Many trivial tasks takes about 80% of our time, and the vital task only 20% of the time. So it is most important to identify the right 20% and focus on it. So in the list of things, we should be able to identify 20% of the tasks which will make a difference in our life and focus and give more time to those activities. Having said this, let us summarize the learning from the last presentation and this one. The right time management approach. First is prepare your daily time sheet. Refer to your previous session, how to prepare those time sheets, how to put in activities and time slots. Set your own priorities. Refer to the previous slides, refer the urgent and important metric. See what is important to you and what is not. Can we eliminate some of the things? Can we give more quality time to some of the activities? And allocate time appropriately for each of these tasks. And finally, use the right time management tools and techniques to efficiently complete the tasks. That's it, friends. A very important point of prioritizing. It's as simple as it looks, but needs a conscious effort to make it a habit. So start doing it, do it over and over, master it, and make it a habit. We'll share some more tips in the coming videos. Till then, thank you very much for your time. Good luck. Stay fit, stay safe, and set your priorities right before you step out. It's unlock time. Visit my website shashinayar.com. Also, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. Thank you very much. Bye bye. Take care.